Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, so if those Israelite foreigners that were cast out, that went off, that were cut off, if they keep the law, or the righteousness that's in the law, and basically, you know, it's got to be to the best of their ability, because there's no way, no how, no man of Israel, no Israelite man, and nobody, really nobody, can keep the laws of the Most High 100%. But we only speak about Israel because that's who the laws are given to. So if a Israelite foreigner comes back into the fold and he tries to keep the righteousness of the law to the best of his ability, shall not his uncircumcision, he was being called a heathen, be counted for circumcision? Is that not so? Yes, it is. How do we know that? Going back to Cornelius. Cornelius, who was an Israelite foreigner, was keeping the law to the best of his ability, was giving alms, was praying, was doing all type of things. Even though he was a centurion, even though he was following the customs of the heathens and doing certain things of the heathens, he wasn't going into worshiping idols and all that stuff. He was just, he had just been going off because he had been in that keeping the law, so to speak, of the other nations, but then eventually he came out of it, so he was an example of that. So his uncircumcision, because he was an Israelite, when he started keeping the laws, that uncircumcision became circumcision, because he became circumcised in his mind. Now, gotta hold that and gotta go back to the book of Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter, just to show you that there's a difference between the physical circumcision and spiritual circumcision. But the spiritual circumcision does not do away with the physical circumcision. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter and the 16th verse. It says, "Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked." So that's basically when you circumcise the foreskin of your heart, means you become born again. You put off the old man, because the old man was what made you to become uncircumcised and made you to become a heathen in the sight of the Most High. So you had to put that off, and you had to put on righteousness. What is righteousness? Doing right by your brother, becoming circumcised, keeping the law to the best of your ability, growing your beard, not bowing down to idols, not eating abominable things, and many other such things, that are written in the scriptures, in the law. All right. So now let's go back to Romans, the 2nd chapter and the 26th verse. "Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision?" So now this is a scripture that these clowns, a forerunner, and this bald-headed white boy, try to, they try to like use this scripture that they try to just distort it. You know what I'm saying? They try to like just apply that to everybody. Yeah, all people can become Israelites. Even that faggot asshole Abu, he even said that one time. I was dealing with him, and that motherfucker gonna come up and say that in the Romans 11:26, when it says that all Israel shall be saved, that's talking about all nations that become Israelites. Like all of a sudden, these other nations, they just got a pass to become Israelites. Where he got that shit from, I don't know, but that shit is madness. But this is the type of shit that these fucking guys out here are following. But this right here, this cuts that. But see, if you don't have no understanding and you read this, then it's gonna seem like it's talking about that, what they're saying, because that was one of the demonic teachings that were being taught by the Roman Catholic Church. It says, "Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision does transgress the law?" Right, because these Israelite foreigners that are coming into this, if you harping on them to keep the law, and you harping on them to do this, and you harping on them to do that, and if you doing things contrary to what you're telling them, they're gonna be like, "Look, man, you telling me to do this, you telling me not to shave my beard, but you shaving your beard. You telling me not to be uncircumcised, but you uncircumcised." I mean, I'm taking it to the extreme, You know, but it's just to make a point. You telling me don't eat no pork, but you eating pork? And basically, what they're gonna do is they're gonna destroy that weak brother. You know, the brother that's coming in. If he happens to be weak at the time, they're gonna destroy him. You know, that's why it says in I believe it's in the book of First Corinthians, the 8th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. First Corinthians, the 8th chapter. Yeah, it speaks about, you know, charity. It speaks about things offered unto idols. And right. Let's go to the this is First Corinthians, the 8th chapter, the 5th verse. I mean, the whole chapter is good, but I'm just gonna start the 5th verse. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as there be gods many and lords many, but to us there is but one power, the Father, of whom are all things. Right, because you have angels in heaven, you have, you know, you have the righteous angels, you have the wicked angels in heaven. But there's only one power, there's only one God, and there's only one Son. But to us there is but one power, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yahushua. So how in the hell is Yahushua going to be called by the name of the Most High, and how are they going to be one? In other words, how are they both going to be the same person, if it tells you that there is but one power, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yahushua, by whom are all things, and we by him? They just don't understand the scriptures. Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, and that basically explains it right there. Not everyone that's out there has that knowledge. They don't have that information. They don't have this breakdown. For some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. So you have people that were worshiping, back then they were doing it. They were worshiping idols, and then whenever they ate anything, they would give thanks and grace unto that idol. Just like today, you have people that sit down to a meal and they give grace, you know, which is nothing wrong with giving grace, but the grace that they're giving, they're giving it to Caesar Borgia, this honky image of this low life scoundrel, you know, and they venerating him for the food that they're receiving. The same way that Israel back then was giving honor to the Egyptian gods and the Babylonian gods and different other gods for what they receive, and not to the Most High. There's nothing new. But meat commendeth us not to the Most High, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. But take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours, because you know what, like for instance, we'll take ourselves, like we have liberty to where we know that if we go to, let's say somebody has a Thanksgiving dinner, and we go to the Thanksgiving dinner, we know that Thanksgiving is bullshit. We know that Caesar Borgia is bullshit. We know that when we go to eat this meal, it's just it's just food. It's nothing else but just food to us, right? But let's say you have a brother that's with you, but he's not on that level yet. You can't just take him to that place with you, you know, and then you're eating and he's eating, and in his mind he's like, well, I mean, this brother, you know, he's a learned man, you know, he's eating this stuff, so it must be all right. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna eat Easter. I'm you know, but he's not doing it in the right way because his conscience is weak. That's why it said in the book of Romans, the 2nd chapter, that if the Israelite foreigners, which keep the law and they be circumcised, are they not gonna judge you, who by the law breaks the law to a certain extent? But I mean, I have to retract that because of the fact that, I mean, that's going into like a different topic. But in this particular topic that we're dealing with here is dealing with, because you do have certain liberties, but you have to make sure that when you take on these liberties, you don't destroy the man that's coming up under you, or the man that's looking up to you, you know. So it says, but take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. For if any man See thee which has knowledge, so that meat in the idol's temple shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols. So in other words, he's gonna, like, you in your mind, you're gonna offer it, or you're gonna eat it, and you're gonna say praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But he's not on that level yet. So you have to be careful, with what you expose a brother to sometimes. And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Yahushai died. Right, because here it is, he's gonna eat it as a thing offered unto an idol. He's not gonna eat it as just a meal. He's gonna think of okay, this is being offered unto such and such God, so it must be alright. So the next time when something else comes up, he's gonna eat it as a thing offered to those idols.